All right, we're doing this. So, God's been calling me to like do this video thing, man. And I've been really just like not, kind of like running away from it, really being like, because I don't really, I think the thing is that I find really interesting is that I'd be so focused on, just doing the actual work and not doing it in a way where I'm doing it for any type of like, recognition or like hey, look at me, you know what I mean. It's never really been about that for me. I really see like hard work, dedication, and good work, being good at what you do as a form of like worship, you know what I mean. uh so I'm gonna just be honest, I don't really know what I'm gonna talk about on here, but we're just gonna have a conversation, you know what I'm saying. And by the grace of God, I've shown so many signs that this is what it's meant to be. So whatever's about to be talked about is going to be what's talked about. I have no script in front of me. I have nothing that I'm looking at or for like a frame of reference of what I'm talking about right now. um I think that's such an important thing, to witness and to find out, as one goes through the process, you know what I mean. It's such an important thing to witness and find out that, as you're going through the process of refinement and finding that, why are you doing what you're doing, are you doing what you're doing for lesser reasons, are you doing what you're doing for greater reasons, I think you know in a span of time, of me just really focused on doing the work and actually just putting in the work and the time and to cultivating myself to be a better, being, human being, a better man, a better, things of that nature, I'm saying? Someone that really like, takes care of themselves to the best of their ability. I find that has been this beautiful thing that has been unfolding in my own consciousness of this like everybody says, find your why, right? Everybody says that. Everybody's communicating about, find your why, why do you do what you do? Where are you going? What are you doing? What's the reason for you doing what you're doing? And things of that nature. But I really find that, as time goes on, there's this beautiful thing that happens as you learn to take better care of yourself. There's this beautiful thing that happens of, when you take care of yourself, you're doing it for more than yourself, right? Like what you're taking care of is not only you, you're taking care of everything that came before you to get you to where you are, right? And then everything that is to come after you from you being able to pour into where you are from you taking care of yourself. You see what I'm saying? So I just find that in this process of I was talking to this guy the other day, and I've been meeting a lot of elders recently. It's crazy. I've been meeting elders, thousands of acres of land. It's the journey that I'm on, People are on the other side of what I'm on right now, and I've been finding this beautiful thing of this cyclical thing. This is what we've been talking about. I've been asking them for wisdom, and the wisdom that they've been giving me is the same way that I understand life. What you shall receive the same level of care that you've given in this life, right? So in that way, it's like, you focusing on pouring into yourself, you focusing on taking care of yourself, you focus on making sure that you're good, is going to be the same level that life and that God really takes care of you, right? It's like you're showing that you have the capacity for more levels of you can handle more. You're showing that you can handle more because you're showing that this level of care that you have is how you will handle what God is giving you, right? So in that way, it's like, as as time goes on, I've been, striving every single day to expand my care, to care more about myself, to care more about others, to care more about the way that I speak, my tonality, right? The way that I think, right? The thoughts, it goes so deep because it goes to the foundation of how do you even think about others, right? It's not only, I think of so many people focus on the other levels of it, which is like, um how do you actually in action actualize care? But also we got to recognize that it starts from a point. How do you think, right? How do you vibrationally what's your baseline frequency at most times? You know what I mean? Are you doing something about that? If you're not enjoying your baseline level of life, then are you doing things to change that baseline, even if it's small things over time, right? So, it's been a really beautiful process to find that, this level of care is only expanding, and as this level of care expands, the only thing that's really growing is my capacity to handle more things with care. And I just want to speak to you right now and just say, if you find yourself in a place where you're wondering why things aren't working out, I want you to check your care. I want you to check, how are you handling things? How are you handling the things that God has given you now? Are you showing up with as much integrity as you can? Now, we're not perfect. I'm not perfect. None of us are perfect. You know what I'm saying? So are you showing up with as much care and capacity as you can during this time? You know what I mean? And finding that during this time, it just will be shown, over time, like, are you really, or are you kinda? Because once you think back, I mean, we've seen kind ofs. We've seen so many kind ofs. And I think if we can be honest with ourselves, we've even been kinda at times before. Either, and I may be speaking to someone right now that is a kinda right now, you know that as you strive to be real, then your kinda will change to real. And you will stop receiving kinda situations and kinda things, Um, and even the ones that are real too, you recognize, man, there's so many kindas out here. There's so many almosts out here. You know what I mean? So, the way to purify, your life, and to purify yourself, and to purify all aspects of what you're experiencing from the kind of energy, is to be as really real in integrity as you possibly can be. You know what I mean? And as you find that level of care, level of integrity, level of showing up, level of perseverance and persistence within yourself, know that reality will do nothing but shift to reflect greater levels of care. So I just pray that, God, the one true living God, whomever we know the name to be, the one true living God, really guide us to be more careful, to be more full of care with the way that we handle the things that He has given us, with the way that we show up in the ways that He has given us the ability to show up, for to expand our capacities of being able to show up in greater levels of care and integrity, and to deliver us from anything that is stopping that, to deliver us from anything that is attempting, again, the clarification of the word is attempting, right, to hinder those things. We just pray that we are delivered and guided to greater levels of care and capacity expansion. um yeah, by the amen, by the grace of God, I really find that there's this it's so interesting. God's really been calling me to do this more. And I really, I do so much by the grace of God. I do so much awesome stuff. I live an awesome life. I'm grateful for the life that I live, and I strive to improve my life every single day. I'm living the words that I'm speaking right now. What I'm saying to you right now, I'm living it truly right now. I just find that, I just see, there's, I've been running away, man. I'll be honest. I've been really running away from this fame thing, from this attention thing, from this like people like looking at me, and then, kind of like, because I do this in real life. This is what I do in real life. This is like a consistent conversation for me. So this is only a continuation of the conversation that I am in, truly. And yeah, so I'm overcoming that. Because really, man, I'll just be focused on, the betterment of my family, man. The betterment of my family, the betterment of the people around me, and the better of my people in general. You know what I mean? So I don't really be caring too much about people looking at me and none of that. I just rather just do my little, you know what I'm saying? Be focused on the life that I'm living and grow and expand in the life that I'm living and teach other people that are in my real living reality how to do the same thing. And I'm a happy man. At the same time, God has definitely called me to do this. So, I'm a strive and struggle. I'll say, struggling meaning that, even against myself at times, to show up and do the thing that He has called me to do in this way. I am being obedient in so many other ways of life, but God's definitely been calling me to do this as well. So, just pray that God expands our capacity for care even more for all of us, truly. Amen. Thank you so much for your time. Have a beautiful rest of your day out there, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, be great. Peace.